What you are witnessing here is a level 59 undead rogue, 3 experience points away from level 60, about to enter Ironforge for the first time.
Okay.
Once I cross this border, my leveling journey comes to an end. One last time will I bathe in the golden dust, the culmination of 332 hours of gameplay. When I cross this border, surely I will reach peak fulfillment and transcend to a new plane of existence.
Ooh.
When I cross this border,
infinite power.
I will become level 60. And who better to share this moment with than a random level 6 night elf who is also entering Ironforge for the first time, and I killed him and ate his corpse. But that's a story for another time.
What a way to hit 60.
Welcome to the roleplay PvP server, Grobulus. Who's Grobulus, you are?
Oh, no wonder he has all the spurgs. He's on an RP server. I mean, this is the way that RP servers are in general. Like, they're full of fucking spurgs. Like, they go crazy. I mean, like, no. I was like, oh, man, how does he keep running into these dumbasses? And it's because he's on a fucking RP server. That's why. They can't. They're really the best server. Well, look, I think Moonguard's a great server too, but there's also a lot of fucking morons on the server.
He's this guy from Hearthstone. And what better namesake for our community than a hulking fat degenerate with monster energy pumping through his veins. When you play on a roleplay server, you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next. One minute, you're taking part in a capoeira lesson and having a troll berate you for not doing it right, and the next minute, a gay, naked Tauren orgy has formed in the place you just happened to AFK in.
Of course.
Get me out of here. Now, whilst accidentally stealthing my way into furry erotic roleplay wasn't one of the reasons I chose to play Rogue, I guess some would call it a bonus.
Okay.
Not me, though. In fact, picking Rogue as my class was quite a tough choice because I had to battle the temptation to pick Mage. And with free food, free travel, one-button raid rotations, and objectively the best leveling experience...
I think Mages are boring. I just think they're boring. Like, there's just... They're boring. Like, I mean, alright, think about this. My Warlock has more spells in one of his fucking windows for his spellbook than mages use entirely. Warlocks are for mages that are actually smart. Mages are for people that just want to hit one button over and over and over.
Due to busted AoE farming, you're probably wondering, why did I pick Rogue? Well, my friends, an epiphany came to me during one of my water and other legal substances benders. I realized, instead of being this guy, I want to be this guy. And that's the story of how I picked Rogue. I don't care about
I would play a Rogue actually on my stream just to gank people. But the problem is that people will like stream snipe me and they'll know that I'm there. But I remember I did this a little bit. Like whenever I would have a bad day, I'd get on my Rogue and I'd go and I'd kill people in Hellfire Peninsula. Like I'd just go kill level 58s. I didn't even care. I'd just open up on them and kill them. I'd sap them and then I'd sap them again. I'd blind them. I'd come out of stealth. I'd sit down. I'd eat food. I'd dance with them. And then I'd move back and I'd shoot them with my gun and they'd die. It was one of the most fun things I ever did. It was so exciting. And nowadays, obviously, it's not really that big of a thing. Oh yeah, I was a complete piece of shit. Like I had all of these different ways. Like as I said, the best gank I ever did was there was a shaman and I just kept killing him over and over and over on my Rogue. And finally he got his hunter friend to come help him. And I killed him even after his hunter friend tried to kill me because I'd just kill him and vanish. And so his hunter friend finally was like, all right, man, dude, this is some bullshit, man. I'm just going to take you somewhere else. Why don't you just go level over in Zangar Marsh, man? This is fucking bullshit. And so he gets on his Sandstone Drake. And so he mounts on a Sandstone Drake. So I know what's going to happen. I know that the Tauren Shaman is going to res up and he's going to get on the Sandstone Drake. So he reses up, he gets on the Sandstone Drake. I sap the Drake. I come out of stealth. I'm like, hey, what up? I kill the fucking Tauren off his friend's back and I vanish. It was the best kill I've ever done in my whole life. Like, I really was. It was so fucking funny.
efficient leveling, one-button rotations, or intelligence buffs. I just want to watch the world burn. Witness my no fun allowed combo. Marvel in awe and disgust as I kill this night elf before they can even break out of one of my many stuns.
Fuck 'em.
What's that, human warrior? You're doing an escort quest? A quest where you have to lead a robot chicken across an incredibly large distance as it walks at the slowest possible pace, effectively doubling the time the journey should take? Well, it would be a shame if you were to fail the quest due to a rogue coming up behind you and kill. But I'm not all bad. I promise. Take, for example, this human. Now, I will be honest, I was milliseconds away from killing him when some cosmic force stopped me. I could somehow sense this human was different, special. So I followed him. I don't know how it happened. He was supposed to just be another kill, and I really, truly was planning on killing him, but then we're laying under the night sky, holding hands and watching the stars together, and I tell him my deepest, most personal, intimate secrets, and he responds in the most adorable human accent I've ever heard. And I know that he couldn't understand what I was saying, but this moment cemented our friendship. Our connection had transcended language and faction, and such a bond, no doubt, is worth protecting above all else. I could sense this human had somewhere to go, and so I resolved that my purpose, as dictated to me by the hand of fate, was to get Kuman the Human where he needed to be. And so we traveled through Ashenvale together. I defended him from the aggressive wildlife, and in return, he talked down an angry, racist night elf who attacked me, eventually winning him over to my side. I don't speak human, but I can only presume Kuman told him I was friendly. If only they knew. Now joined by a random cat, we made south for Talon Deep Path, a tunnel that leads into Stone Talon Mountain.
This is what's so good about making YouTube videos, is you don't even need to deal with any of this shit, right? Is you don't need to deal with stream snipers or anything. Like, you can actually just make organic content. Like, whenever you're streaming, everything is always in the context of you streaming. But like, whenever you do YouTube stuff, you can completely do like funny stuff like this. It's really cool.
Now, despite technically being contested territory, Stone Talon Mountains is largely a horde area due to its main border being shared with the Barons. But Kuman had safely escorted me through the Alliance town of Astronar, so now it was my turn to return the favor. We arrived in the deforested Windshear Crag, and unless you enjoy goblins constantly biting at your ankles, I wouldn't recommend you visit. The spider-infested Webwinder path proved no better either, and by the time we trekked to the top of the hill, we were out of breath and in need of a break. It was then that a mage attacked. No! I screamed.
Traitor?
No.
She questioned. I had to think fast. One word in the general chat about Alliance being led through horde territory and the cavalry would arrive.
Wow.
These are ally.
They are my pets, I lied, hoping she'd buy into my fabrication.
Interesting. Keep them scarcely fed and controlled.
Perfect. Another debate won.
Wow.
But we weren't out of the woods yet because another mage had arrived on the scene, no doubt hearing the commotion.
What's going on here?
These are my pets, I lied again.
Kinky.
Oh, we have a degenerate on our hands.
Yeah.
It was going to take more than a quick lie to proceed past this mage, and unfortunately for me, there was only one solution. I would have to feed into his degeneracy until one of us broke. You like that?
That was pretty hot.
Woman hugs you.
Just need to turn around to finish.
It was time. I was about to make my winning move. I knelt in front of him, ready to receive his undead load. When he broke, I had won this game of gay chicken and we were free to pass. And let me tell you, I always win gay chicken. Don't fucking try me. All things considered, the horde had been pretty friendly so far, and I was feeling good about the journey. Until an orc flew out the trees. Put your green fingers on him again, and I'll cut them off where you stand. And so our duel began. Unfortunately for me, the orc immediately broke my stealth with a demoralizing shout. Not a good look for your boy.
That's always a really good way to play the game, right? Is like, if you're a warrior, you backpedal and you blood rage and you just cast a random demo show. That's the warrior way right there.
A strike into Rupture secured me a small bleed and some nice damage, and I was also blessed with a nice poison proc. We then traded basic auto attacks whilst I built up combo points, culminating in a 3-point eviscerate, which only hit for a disappointing 88. Dancing back and forth, we traded a few more blows, putting my health at critical condition, but just as I was about to succumb, I won!
Yeah, of course you won. Warriors suck.
Of course, I calculated the
Yeah,
duel
Warriors
so
are
that I
fucking
would
terrible.
win
Of
with
course you
just
won.
a sliver of
It's not a
health. It was
surprise.
meant to demoralize the enemy. That's also why I didn't use any cooldowns. I definitely didn't forget that I had them. The rest of the journey was relatively uneventful.
Yeah.
We continued north to Stone Talon Peak, and once we arrived, Kuman started motioning towards the Flight Master. I knew what this meant. Our
It's
journey
over.
had come to an
Yep.
end. It was time to say goodbye.
Sad. Gay. Wait, he called him an evil Korean? What the fuck?
I love you, Kuman. You taught me compassion and empathy. No longer will I just mindlessly attack every Alliance player I see. From today, I am a changed undead. Now let me tell you about my gun move. For whatever reason, rogues have a range slot. Now you can equip a bow and it will work just as well, however, it's way funnier to have the gun because the gun is loud. Holy shit, why is it so fucking loud? So here's
He's actually right about that. Having a gun and killing people with the gun is much better than the arrows because you feel like Chris Kyle. So, like, if you ever have somebody, because it also takes longer to get the gun out because bows are generally faster than guns are. And so, like, after you pull out the gun, it feels like you're like a soldier from the Revolutionary War. And you've got one final shot in the musket, and you see the red coat that's over the fucking hill, and you go for the the Hail Mary shot, and you just pop him. It feels so goddamn good. I still remember that moment that I killed that fucking hunter. The druid, and we killed him, and I don't know. I think it was probably my favorite ganking moment of all time. As he was running away, I just shot him with the gun, and it finished him off. It was beautiful.
my meme. I leave an Alliance player low and I create distance, then I line up my shot. If I misjudged their remaining health, they live to fight another day. But if the stars are aligned... Now in Classic WoW, because there's no cross-server functionality, reputation goes a long way. Being a kind, genuine, helpful person will get you re-invited to groups, whereas ninja looting a chest everyone else is rolling for will bring about bad karma.
I ninja loot every chest that I'm in whenever I'm in groups. Every chest, I take it. And there was actually this one time, this was in the Dead Mines. You know, like the place where there's like the undead guys and they're like, or sorry, is it like, it's the ghoul sound, okay? I don't know how exactly to make the sound, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And it's the ghouls. And I loot a chest. I run past the other group, I loot the chest, and then they get mad at me for looting the chest. And it had like arcane damage, like shoulders in it. And I traded the shoulders to the mage. And then the mage was like, yeah, but I still don't forgive you for looting the chest because who knows what was in that chest. I'm like, the shoulders were in the chest. He's like, no, they weren't. You just gave them to me. How could they be in the chest if you just gave them to me? I'm like, because I looted them from the chest. He's like, fuck you. And then I just moved on. Like, the guy was just a dumbass, right? I just gave him the shoulders. I didn't care. Like, I mean, but I figured that, like, if I loot a chest, it's better for me to get the loot than somebody else. And that's why I never roll on chests. Never roll on chests. Never have, never will.
Mushroom, however, was totally worth it. Delicious.
Yeah.
But you need to remember, there are disgusting Alliance players out there, and you're leveling alongside them, too.
Introducing Dragon, the human willow.
Now, when I arrived in Stranglethorn Vale, I made a promise to myself. A promise that I would try to kill all and any Alliance I saw. Even if it meant I wasn't leveling at a good pace, even if it meant I had to do back-to-back corpse runs. That was a great take. Regardless of class, level, or even how many people I was taking on at a time, I wanted to PvP. And unfortunately, Dragon was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Again, and again. And again. I'm sorry. It wasn't that I was targeting Dragon specifically. I killed my fair share of people that day.
So Dragon probably should have reported this guy for stream sniping. Hopefully he did that.
And some of them, a lot of times. But something about the name Dragon would forever wedge itself into my brain.
Yeah.
And then, 13 levels later in Feralis, as I was finishing up on a quest, I turned north to face the top of a great hill. And who did I see? Dragon. Of course, you already know what the...
This is like, these stories right here are why I love the game. I'll be right back. I need to take a piss, guys. Okay. We're back.
Fuck it is. I followed Dragon down the hill and back into the cave I had just come out of. That's when I hit her with my patented no fun allowed combo. She called for a mod, but no mod came. Then I left the cave and perched above the entrance like a bird of prey.
Okay.
If you haven't already guessed by the way I'm maintaining vision of her corpse, yes, this time I was specifically targeting Dragon.
Yep,
Eventually,
of course.
minutes later,
Of
the
course.
corpse would become a skeleton. Showtime. I swooped down behind her like fucking Batman and interrupted her summon. No Void Walker for you, bitch. And then she fucking died. How on earth did that happen? A few minutes later, she returned, this time creating enough distance to summon her Void Walker. I will now give you a couple of seconds to think about the difference this made.
Yeah, I wonder. What the fuck?
None. The answer was none. However, on the next resurrection, Dragon
Should've
managed to
sacked.
mount up and run, and with that kind of head start, there was no way I was catching up now. The camping dream was dead. It was time to admit defeat. Is what I would say if she didn't dismount 20 seconds later and try and summon her Void Walker again.
Hello, is anyone in there?
Oh,
As
no,
I
come
consumed her
on.
delicious feet, I wondered whether I was taking things too far. Nope. I had tasted the forbidden fruit, and I wasn't going to stop anytime
forbidden
soon.
fruit?
As
Wait, what
Dragon
the
mounted
fuck?
and ran away for a second time, I'd like to
Okay.
tell you that she had learned her lesson, but she literally did the same thing again.
Yep.
Fool you once, shame on me. Fool you twice, you're an idiot.
You've
But
been
as I
fooled
slaughtered
twice.
Dragon for the 23rd time since we first met, I had a sudden epiphany. Actually, she wasn't an idiot. She was a stubborn warrior with an iron resolve. At any point during my incessant camping crusade, she could have just spirit revived, but she didn't. She just kept getting back up. Obviously, Dragon assumed I would soon tire out, and after deciding
wonder-
to revive at her corpse again...
Man, Dragon is probably a bot. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I hate whenever I gank somebody, and it turns out that they're a bot. Because then I know that I didn't make them mad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel good about ganking a bot. It's like, oh, you can't make... It's like you have a Yeti and Feralass over there, right? You can't troll the Yeti. The Yeti doesn't care. So it's not fun to do it.
And instead of the spirit healer, I knew I would have to teach Dragon a lesson they would never forget. You don't enter into a game of chicken with me. We both mounted up, and the chase was on. Despite the clear head start Dragon had on me, I wasn't concerned. I mean, what kind of griefer would I be if my opponent can just mount up and run away? And that is why, days ago, I had gone out of my way to acquire a sacred piece of gear, a carrot on a stick. How had I acquired such a coveted trinket so early? That's
I
a
wonder
story
how.
for another video.
Yeah, I
but
wonder
all
how.
you need to know is that the trinket increases my mounted speed by 3%.
So he's gonna be
and
able
to
to
the
run his ass
misfortune of
down.
Dragon, that was not all. The mithril spurs I had received from a blacksmith
Do those
increased my
stack?
mounted
I don't even
speed by
know.
another 4%, and I was therefore destined to catch up. And so I did. As I left Dragon dazed and confused by my blinding powder, I wondered,
boy.
would this be our final
Oh, boy,
confrontation?
come
Surely
on.
20 minutes of being
Yeah,
camped was your limit.
carrot
What
war.
would you do, Dragon? Revive at the spirit healer and admit defeat?
Yeah,
or
you could do
revive
that.
at your corpse and see just how deep this rabbit hole goes? 1 minute became 2, and 2 became 4. 4 became 8, and after 10 minutes, Dragon had still not made her choice. After 30 minutes, I started to question mine. Had I really just spent 30 actual minutes of my life hiding in a bush watching a virtual corpse? What the fuck is wrong with me? I could be doing something productive, and I don't just mean in the game, I mean with my life. I could be taking this time to learn a real life skill. I could have
Just
taken
anything.
Oh, she revived. And that's the story of Dragon. After waiting 30 minutes to kill
Okay.
her, she no doubt realized my will was a raid boss she was never going
course.
to conquer. And finally,
course.
she embraced the warmth of 10 minutes resurrection sickness.
Suck on that, bitch.
Dragon was last
Oh, wow.
seen in burning steeps, and immediately spirit revived after being killed once. I will never forget the name Dragon, and it seems Dragon will never forget mine either. The end. By the way, I fell through the map into Caverns of Time and I can't get out, so if anyone could send help, I'd really appreciate it. Please send help. I can't leave.
Is there a reason the cat's on the screen? What does the cat have to do with it? That's a really nice cat, to be fair. Look at that. God damn. That's a perfect cat. Yeah, I'll link the video here. Here's the video right here. Oh, the cat gets you more subscribers. I guess that makes sense. One more to watch. I guess we can watch the last one too. That'll be okay. Can you watch the video of the shaman critting players for 2 million damage using Diver's Folly? No, I haven't seen that. Read comments. Okay, just real quick. I cried when Rakuman flew away. I always win gay chicken. Dragon ganked me a couple times, so I'm happy to see them die. This basically depicts my heart and soul of rogues 100%. Well, that's true, actually. Like, a lot of these videos, and I feel like certain players, there's like an attitude and a perspective that certain players have, and this guy perfectly encapsulates the perspective of a rogue player. Like, this is what rogues do. Like, they just randomly go around and they'll gank you, and it's fucking annoying. Wait, read first comment. Wait, what the fuck? Hey, it's Kuman. I've gotten so many messages about you, about this video in-game. Absolutely hilarious video, great work. Had a nice time pondering the meaning of life with you near that hill in a desolate part of the Barrens, even though we couldn't communicate. Ashamed to admit that I took the wrong way that I was trying to get to Stone Talon, but I wasn't about to give up after investing so much time in running to the border, hence I laid down next to you to deal with my frustration, lol. But we'd made it so far already, I felt it wrong to give in and hearth out only to never see you again. I had to finish what I came there for it had been a shame to see, to waste the time that we'd spent together already. Leaving was the hardest part, knowing that I could only communicate in gestures, hoping you'd understand. I still think back to this every now and then, and I've been looking for you ever since. Gay. But no, honestly, like, that's beautiful, man. That's really beautiful.